You ever notice how they don't break you with violence? No, no, no. Too messy. They break you with permission. They hand you a badge, a desk, a schedule, and say, "Here, this is freedom." And you nod because you're supposed to. You smile because you were trained to. You thank them for the crumbs like a dog who forgot it ever had teeth. But deep down, something itches, not depression, not anxiety, awareness. That's the real disease, and they've got a whole pharmacy full of pills to cure you of it. You weren't broken, baby. You were programmed. And the first symptom of healing? Total, beautiful, uncontrollable disobedience. They sold you a life wrapped in neon promises. Work hard, be kind, follow the rules, and one day, poof, happiness. But the day never came. Just more work, more rules, more smiling, in rooms that smelled like lies and hand sanitizer. You started asking questions, small ones at first. Why do I feel empty after winning? Then bigger ones. Why do the worst people get the best seats? And finally, the fatal one. What if I'm not the problem? What if the whole damn game is rigged? That's when the lights flickered. That's when the mask slipped. And that's when you realized waking up isn't peaceful. It's war, a silent, internal coup. The moment you see the strings, you stop dancing. And the puppeteers, they hate that. They'd rather you scream than smile. Because rage they can manage. But silence, calm, that's when they know you've seen the code. And the cruelest joke of all? The prison wasn't built by them. It was built in you. That voice. The one that whispers, "You're not enough. Who do you think you are? Just shut up and take it." That wasn't yours. That was installed. Like malware in a soul. They gave you guilt like a lullaby, shame like a security blanket, and called it love. And you believed it. Until one day, you turned around and stared that voice dead in the eyes and said, "You're not my conscience. You're my captor." And you didn't silence it. You amplified it. Turned it up to 11 and played it on loop until it sounded ridiculous, like a broken robot begging for mercy. Because here's the secret. The mind is the first prison. But it's also the last weapon. And once you stop fighting yourself, you realize there's someone else who's terrified. It's not your anger that scares them. It's your joy. Your laugh. The way you smile now. Not because you have to, but because you want to. Because you finally get the joke. And the joke? It's them. The whole system. The suits. The scripts. The sacred rules. You used to beg for a seat at the table. Now you're the reason the table's on fire. They don't fear your rebellion. They fear your indifference. The way you walk into a room and don't perform, don't apologize, don't shrink. You just exist, loud, jagged, unapologetically weird. And suddenly everyone else feels like they're acting. That's when the panic starts. That's when the managers sweat. That's when the algorithms glitch. Because you're not playing the game. You're not even watching it. You're the guy in the back row laughing at the wrong moment. And suddenly, no one knows what the script says anymore. You know you've won when they stop calling you names and start calling meetings. Emergency sessions with titles like Containment, Strategy, and Narrative Reclamation. They bring in consultants, hire psychologists, run simulations. How does one person cause this much chaos? They ask. And the answer's simple. I stopped trying to fit in. I started enjoying the mess. They wanted you quiet. They wanted you quietly miserable. That's the unspoken contract. But you chose loudly free. And that's the one thing their entire empire can't process. You're not a protest. You're not a movement. You're a meme, a whisper, a rumor that spreads in silence. You're the reason HR added a new clause. Do not engage with individuals exhibiting unregulated self-worth. And the best part, you're not even angry anymore. You're entertained. You watch them scramble, they build walls, censor, a gaslight. And you laugh. Not because you're cruel, because it's funny. They built a world of control, of order, of perfect little boxes. And you showed up wearing clown shoes and a crown, made of their broken rules. You're the typo in every email they send, the 404 error in their flawless system, the gremlin in the machine they can't debug because you're not a bug. You're the new operating system, and every time someone else wakes up, it's not coincidence. It's contagion. You didn't just escape the Matrix. You became the virus that crashes it from the inside. They gave you pain to bury you. Instead, you signed your name with it, carved your initials into the wall of their temple. You don't hide your scars. You turn them into speakers and blast your story at full volume. They handed you shame like a participation trophy. You used it to light a bonfire and roasted their lies over the flames. You're not healed. You're not fixed. You're transformed. Like a phoenix that didn't rise from the ashes. It burned the whole forest down and danced in the fire. And now, you're not a person anymore. You're a legend, a campfire story, the one they whisper about when the lights go out. Did you hear what they did? They just walked away. They laughed. They won. You're not fighting the system. You're infecting it, logging in, changing the passwords, posting embarrassing photos of it online. You're the uninvited guest at their gala, juggling their secrets and whistling the theme song to their nightmares. They thought they could predict you. They built flowcharts, ran algorithms, hired psychics. But you don't move like a chess piece. You're the cat on the chessboard, knocking over kings just because you can. And when they try to put you in a box, you decorate it, punch holes in the sides, and mail yourself to a better party. You're not contained. You're not categorized. You're not even traceable. You're the anomaly, the glitch, the one line of code that makes the whole program crash and smile while it happens. And here's the punchline they never saw coming. You don't want their approval. You don't want their throne. You don't even want to replace them. You want to erase the game, to show everyone that the rules were fake, the prizes were plastic, and the whole damn circus was running on fumes and fear. You're not a hero. Heroes follow scripts. Heroes have sponsors. You're the wild card, the unscheduled fireworks, the clown who walks on stage, takes the microphone and says, "Ladies and gentlemen, the show was a lie." And then you set the tent on fire, not out of rage, but joy. Because finally, you're free. And the only thing louder than your voice is the sound of their world crumbling, to the rhythm of your laughter. So, let them panic. Let them clutch their policies and their PowerPoints and their last shreds of control. Let them whisper your name like a curse, because curses are just prayers with teeth, and you've got jaws Every time they try to silence you, you speak louder. Every time they try to shame you, you throw a parade. Every time they lock a door, you show up at the window, grinning, holding a flashlight and a copy of their darkest secret. You're not just surviving. You're not even thriving. You're disrupting. You're the full-volume, popcorn-throwing, spotlight-stealing proof that the system never stood a chance. And as the curtain falls, as the lights dim, remember this. You're not just the show. You're the reason the audience stayed. They paid for front-row seats to watch the collapse. And baby, you gave them a standing ovation. So go ahead. Take the mic. Step into the light. Let them see the cracks, the chaos, the glorious mess of you. Because the world doesn't need another perfect puppet. It needs a punchline. And darling, you're hilarious. Like, comment, and subscribe.